What's up, peeps? How we going today? Back with something new, something that I haven't done before. I thought I'd do it, and pretty much today I'm gonna be recommending the best teams I would recommend or teams I would use in career mode pretty much. Obviously I'm doing my Arsenal FC24 career mode at the moment now, so that's literally nothing. I don't have much to really say about Arsenal, man. Really good team. Um, Obviously, if it was to anyone else, would I say use Arsenal? Obviously, of course, I would say use Arsenal. The budget's definitely gone up, which is good because obviously Stan Kroenke owns basketball teams, ice hockey teams, the Denver Nuggets, NFL teams as well. So, he's quite wealthy and has a lot of money. Saying our club's worth is 1 billion pretty much, which is obviously pretty realistic. I'd probably say a bit worth more, but yeah, Arsenal definitely use for sure. I would say in terms of the starting team, it's pretty much there with this. If you have fully fit players, I reckon the team is pretty much sorted. You probably need to add maybe one player like a midfielder, but with that money, you'd be able to go into the Arsenal team not having to adjust anything in terms of budget. That would be that's plenty of money. And considering players you could put on loan as well, but plenty of players. We all know about Arsenal. If you want to find out more, then follow my FC24 career mode. Aston Villa, goodness me, man, where do I start with this team? So many players: Bailey, McGinn, um, Watkins, obviously as well. You got Carlos as well. You got centre backs. There's so many good players. Dini as well, Kamara as well, Diaby as well, Douglas Luiz as well. So many good players. Villa's a very good team. Definitely a team I'd recommend for sure. In terms of just squad depth, young players they have as well. Duran, who's a young player, I think he's like 18, 19. He can go up quite a lot as well. Good as a backup player. You got Martinez as well, really good team. You got Tielemans as well. So many players there. Really good squad depth as well. I'd almost say their bench might be better than the Arsenal bench as well, considering the players they had from the starting lineup to the bench as well. So definitely team I would recommend for sure. Aston Villa and Arsenal for sure I'd recommend. Brentford, they have Wissa, they have Mbappe as well. They got a few good players. Brentford wouldn't be too bad. They haven't got too many players with game faces, not too many let me know guys as well when I'm doing this if I've missed players from big teams. The only two main players I can think, obviously Ivan Tony, hopefully he'll get put back on the game, but is Mbappe and Wissa. Maybe I'm missing other players as well. I don't know too much about Brentford, but they wouldn't be a bad team to use, but I personally wouldn't choose them. But maybe I'm missing out on players. Maybe I don't know enough of the team. I don't know too much about Brentford. Brighton, alongside Villa, I definitely recommend. They got the young core with Ferguson. You got Matoma as well. You got a lot of Gilmore, João Pedro as well, Ansu as well, who's on loan there as well. So very good team for sure. I think you'd have so much fun using Brighton as well. Stadium's good as well. With FIFA, they definitely bring a different atmosphere to each different stadium. You do feel the atmosphere in different stadiums. Like if you play at Villa Park, who I was just talking about, you definitely feel the atmosphere there. Amex Stadium as well, you definitely feel it there as well. So Brighton, Villa, I would definitely recommend. Young core team, decent squad depth. Probably not as good as Villa's squad depth, but still something you can work with. 50 mils not too bad as well. You'll be able to either get a couple loans or get a few players as well. I will be doing a video where I'll be recommending, best young players to sign for cheap prices and stuff like that as well. So this is something new I'm going to be bringing. Burnley, I don't know too much about them. I do know that they play a very good style of football with Vincent Company there as well. I know they have this one left winger that's not doing too bad for them, but I don't know his name and I don't know too much about Burnley. So in terms of would I recommend them? Probably not, but that's again just because I don't know much about them. But you could still have fun. 25 mils, not too bad for a club like Burnley. Again, the best thing you'd be able to do is probably just get loans, or you could just get one really good player for 25 mil, depending where you want to strengthen. Chelsea, I don't really know what to say about Chelsea, to be honest. On paper, on the game, they're a really good team, but in real life, they're a different story, really. I think they probably need to maybe make the players' ratings realistic now, Chelsea, because clearly they're 4.5 star, and considering the players they have, that's absolutely crazy. I just want to see if Arsenal are 5 stars. Yeah, we're 5 stars. There you go. And Chelsea are 4.5 stars. They're like the same as Villa. That's crazy, man. That's absolutely crazy. And look at their budget as well. Our budget's not too far off. Their club worth 2 billion. I doubt Chelsea's worth more than Arsenal. I guess with their history and stuff, but all up, I think Arsenal's probably the most the club with the most worth in London for sure. In terms of stadium atmosphere and everything that's going on with us now, definitely say we're worth way more. But these club worths and transfer budgets they're quite realistic, but Chelsea again have spent so much money in the last 2 seasons, and it's not really making a difference. But in terms of Chelsea, the team's pretty much good in the game. They have a good young players. They got Mudryk, they got Broha, they got Casado, they got Fernandez, they got Palmer, you got Sterling, you got Muda, so many players. Honestly, Thiago Silva is not too bad. He'll probably retire, but still good. You got Sanchez as your keeper. You got Goodsell as your right back. I think you have Chilwell as well, and then forgot the guy, the long hair as well, Cucurella as well. So you got a fair team there, to be honest. You got a really good team, but yeah, in terms of would you need to strengthen, not too much, and depending where you want to strengthen, but Chelsea wouldn't be too bad. Crystal Palace, very good team to use. Definitely put them alongside in the same bracket as Aston Villa and Brighton as well. You got Eze, you got Elise, you got Edouard. You got Ayu, you got Guy as well. Johnson keeper's not too bad as well. Who else they got? Got Mitchell as a left back as well. So they got, and 43 mil is not too bad for Crystal Palace as well. You wouldn't really, they have a good attacking kind of young team with Elise and Eze. That would be like your wingers sorted. You'd probably just want to strengthen mainly in the middle, but I think they got like the Kure guy as well, so he's not too bad as well. So Crystal Palace wouldn't be too bad, and Selhurst Park is really good. I really love that stadium in this game. I've been considering maybe doing a career mode with them once I'm done, but I'm most likely going to do player career mode. I'll see how I feel. But Crystal Palace, team I'd recommend for sure. Everton, Goodison Park, definitely another team I recommend with Calvert-Lewin, McNeil, Doucouré, that Braithwaite guy centre back's not too bad as well. Um, their team's not too bad. Pickford as well, so they got a decent squad. 37 mil again is not too bad for a team like Everton. Um, I reckon they'll be really good. In terms of young players, they got a fair few young players as well. Centre backs, you got Keane as well. I think they got Tarkowski, or does he play for somewhere else? Maybe he plays for Everton. I get him confused. I'm not too sure. Maybe he's at Everton, or maybe somewhere else. Maybe it's somewhere else. I'm not sure. But they got a decent team as well for sure. I'd recommend them for sure. You'd have fun with them. Good stadium as well. A decent base to build from. So Everton wouldn't be too bad. Fulham, oh well, with Fulham's form at the moment, to be honest, like they've just scored 10 goals in their last 2 games. You got Jimenez, who is absolutely on fire, and considering that head injury he had, it's just crazy. He scored like a really good header goal as well, and it's crazy. I wouldn't even to think that a player like that had a crazy head concussion, and to see him like the way he's playing now, and even one of his headed goals that he scored, is like, wow, man, you wouldn't even think that happened to him, but he's pretty much in the form of his life right now. Fulham, definitely a decent team. After watching them, and watching Wilson hit one in the top bins as well. What a crazy goal that was as well. Wolby's there as well. You got Reed as well. You got Paulinho as well. Adebayo's the centre backs as well. Their team is actually not too bad. Fulham would be a pretty fun team. They haven't got like, a super young core team. It's kind of like an all-round team. You got a few experienced players, and then you got a few young players. It's not like a super young team or it's an old team. It's pretty much in the middle. So I would definitely recommend Fulham for sure. They wouldn't be too bad to use. So Fulham for sure. I'll put them in the list. Let's put Fulham in the list. Liverpool, we already know about Salah, Diaz, Darwin Nunes, the whole team, Elliot, man. Liverpool's already just like Arsenal. That's crazy. Their budget is crazy, and again, they're worth more than Arsenal. I don't understand what FIFA are doing. You're telling me Liverpool and Chelsea are worth more than Arsenal? I feel like it's probably them winning Champions Leagues. That's the only thing I can think of, because I personally think right now, like if I'm looking at the Premier Leagues and I'm looking at clubs worth and like just like fan base and everything, I think Arsenal would be like the highest worth, like the team with the highest worth in terms of the way the club's moving and stuff, and like what we have in terms of fan base, players. I personally think we would be top three in terms of worth. So you're gonna have City, Liverpool, and Chelsea who are worth more than Arsenal. I disagree, but tell me what you lot think. But we already know about Liverpool, man. Liverpool are Liverpool already competing with the title with Arsenal, Villa, and City this season. Very interesting chase for the title, that one. Luton, after the way they played against Arsenal, goodness me, man, maybe they should raise that club worth a bit and make them a four-star, man. They've really not done too bad. It's so annoying they've lost to us in City in the last few games because you can tell there's a team there and they're not even. I don't think they're bottom of the league. Maybe they're bottom three. I think with Sheffield and Burnley. I think Everton might be above them potentially because they've won a few matches recently as well, especially after 10-point deduction as well. But Luton. Again, like FIFA doesn't replicate real life as much as, I think it doesn't. Maybe other people would think so. You have a look at my FIFA episodes, and I watch a lot of football and stuff, and I know they, with the high promotion and all these things, they try to make the game as realistic as possible. But like, the way Luton are playing now, you wouldn't be able to do that in the game, unfortunately. Maybe they don't have too bad players, but they haven't got a lot of players with faces. Obviously, they're new to the league. I'm not too sure whether their stadiums in the game. I need to double check that. But most of the time, Premier League clubs always have their stadiums, so I'm not sure they'd have that Luton atmosphere, backyard, the Domino's entrance, and all that stuff. So it's interesting, man. But good on them, man. I really hope they stay up, considering where they come from. League Two to League One to Championship, now the league, and the way they played against Arsenal. I didn't watch them against City, but they really brought it to us. So they're a good team, man. I probably wouldn't recommend them, but a good team. City will skip because we already know about City with Ivan Drago up front, Haaland and De Bruyne and all those other players. United again, club worth, yeah. United are look, man. United are probably worth a lot. They're not in major bad form, but they did just lose 3-0 to Bournemouth, so maybe they are. By the time this video comes out, a lot of things might have potentially changed. We'll see how we go. But Manchester United. Again, man, it's just as much as they're not doing well in real life, they still have decent, good players. They have Fernandez, you got Rashford, you got Sancho and Anthony, who in the game are still not bad as well. McTominay, Varane, Shaw, the lot, and then Onana as well. So there's definitely good players there in the game. Whether it's real life, that's a story for another day. But yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend them. I put them in the same category as, City, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea, where, if you want a career mode where you want to add players and you want a core to build from, then I wouldn't pick them because they pretty much have the core there. You would only need to add two or three players, just like with all the other teams. So it depending how much fun you want to have and what difficulty you're playing on. Newcastle, I would definitely recommend. I'd put them in the same category as Villa and Brighton, just because again, as much as they're, kind of there and abouts trying to compete for top four, there's still gaps in the team. I think them alongside Villa have the perfect core to build from in terms of Joe Linton, Gomares, Almiron, Isaac, Gordon. Like all these players are good, but they're not like amazing in the game. So they're good players to start off. You got Botman as well. You got Livramento as well. You got Trippier. You got Pope. You got so many good players in this team. You got Shah as well. So I know the Newcastle team very well. I've done career modes with them in the past, and it's mainly the defense you would want to work on for sure. That's probably the main part I'd work on in terms of their midfield. You got Kamaras and Joe Linton. That's the midfield sorted out already. So you'd mainly just need to sort out their defense. But I would definitely say it would be a really fun team. St. James's Park as well, amazing atmosphere. You got them trumpets, or whatever they got at the start of the match, which is really good. So it always brings that good atmosphere of culture, the Newcastle fans in the stadium. So for sure, team I'd recommend for sure. Nottingham Forest, don't know too much. I know Brennan Johnson left them recently for Spurs. You got the Nigerian striker there as well. You got Gibbs as well. I don't really know too much about Nottingham Forest, but 33 mil is actually not bad, to be honest, for a club like Nottingham Forest. That's actually not too bad at all. You'd actually fairly be able to strengthen a few players again, depending how you want to go about it, whether it's loans or buys, depending how you do things with difficulty and stuff like that. But I don't know too much about the Nottingham Forest team, so I won't get too much into them. Would I recommend them? Probably not. But again, I don't know too much about them, so who knows? Alongside with Sheffield as well, I don't really know much about them, so I couldn't really recommend them. But I wouldn't, in terms of player faces, they maybe have one or two decent players, but I don't think they'd be amazing. Spurs, you know what? As much as they're rivals and stuff, with Song Kuvalevsky, the left back as well, they just recently he just signed a new contract as well. I think his name is Ndege or something like that. I can't pronounce his name, but he is absolutely perfect. He's like a 78 as well, and he goes up to like an 88 or something. He is absolutely amazing. So Spurs again. Fortunately, I have to say I'd put them in the category of United. I'm not gonna say near Arsenal. I'll just put them United and Chelsea. I'll say that because that's the levels it is now. Chelsea. Not even I can't even put you can't even really put Chelsea with United and Spurs because United and Spurs aren't actually as bad as Chelsea right now, considering Chelsea spent the most money I've ever on. But that's none of my business. Mm. None of my business there. But West Ham next. Yeah, West Ham are definitely 62 mil is really good for a budget as well. So I would actually put them alongside with Villa, Newcastle, and Brighton. You got Bowen. You got I think a Mexican midfielder they signed Antonio obviously as well. You got Kudos as well. Their team's actually not too bad. You got Zuma as well, Cresswell, Johnson, the right back as well. So their team's not too bad as well. I think they would have a good, fair, strong core as well of players to use. 4 stars as well is quite surprising. I thought maybe there'll be 4.5, but I think because Declan Rice ain't there, he was probably be the core of their team, and now he's at Arsenal. What a player, man! What a player Rice is, man! It's crazy that with Rice, just to speak about him quick, it's like everyone's now seen how good he is because he was pretty much like that West Ham, but obviously he's with better players now, so he's obviously gonna perform better. But West Ham for sure, I'd put them alongside Brighton, Newcastle, Aston Villa, good core of young players, players with faces as well, which will make it fun as well with celebrations and stuff. I get very skeptical when players don't have faces. It can get a bit annoying, but some people don't mind that. Wolves, very good team as well. You got Hangi Chan, you got Neto, you got Al Tanori, whatever his name is. I can't pronounce his name, but their team's actually not too bad as well. Wolves and 47 mil is really good for a 4-star team. You could definitely do well with that as well. Wolves, I'll definitely recommend. I'll put them in the rough same bracket, maybe with Brighton. I think Villa, Newcastle. And Villa and Newcastle, I think, are the main like two I would say where you're gonna have fun with player faces, kits, and a core of everything, and where they're not amazing, but like they'll be really fun to use, and you can feel like you can add a fair amount of players. Where Wolves and Brighton, I would say like there would be more work to do because they're not as good as those two teams. But again, it just depends how you're playing formations, plays and stuff. Like Neto is an absolute baller in this, and I think he goes up to like an 85. So you got Kunchar as well. I think that's his name. So good team. Wolves for sure. I definitely recommend. And then I think it's Bournemouth last. Bournemouth, I know they got Solanke. Their team is not bad. I've actually been watching them. They got Kuva as well. His dad used to be in the Premier League. I watched them play against United, and they pretty much just finished. They finished their dinner. That's what they did. Bournemouth did with Solanke up front. He'd probably be the main player then. And they got two wingers as well. They got a fast front three. Bournemouth's front three is actually pretty good. So a lot with that, and if you look at their team with billing and stuff like that, you could potentially put them in the same category as, Brighton, West Ham, Wolves, and that. They wouldn't be too bad to use as well. And Vitality Stadium as well is a real stadium as well. So atmosphere, vibes, and that. And yeah, so these are all the teams. The main teams I'm going to be recommending for sure. Villa and Newcastle for sure. I think that would be the most fun for sure. I'm doing an FC Arsenal career mode as I've said, so that's the team I would obviously ultimately recommend to you lot to have fun with. But again, Arsenal's the team that's already set in the game, so you wouldn't need to. I think this is the first time I've played FIFA where Arsenal team is actually pretty much good to go, and you only need to add one sign in. But with Brighton and Newcastle, I think that you could probably do a season or two to complete the team. And plus, they're not in Champions League, or maybe Newcastle is, but Brighton's not. So it'll be fun. But let me know what you think, guys. I'm going to be doing more videos on like player faces, best young players to sign, best prospect players, and all kinds of videos. Thank you so much, guys. Let me know what you think if I missed any names or any other important factors that you feel like would be good. Just let me know, guys, and I appreciate it. Like, subscribe as per usual, and I'll see you lot next time. Have a good one. Take it easy. Peace.